Hello everyone, myself Deepa Singh, working as assistant professor in Gyan Vyas School of Pharmacy, SGU, Jaipur. Today we discuss about excipients used for dosage form or liquid dosage form. In previous lecture, we already covered different liquid dosage form or classification of a liquid dosage form and how you formulate this liquid dosage form, including the advantages, disadvantages, and procedure. Today we discuss about different excipient that used in liquid dosage form and how you select this excipients and how this is used in liquid dosage form and proper selection. Example of this excipients. So complete introduction regarding this excipients that used in liquid dosage form only on syrup, not only on syrup, but also different all excipients or all liquid dosage form, including syrup, suspension, emulsions, all the liquid dosage form that prepare with some excipients. So in this lecture, we include all example of these excipients and classification of this excipient and how we use this excipient with a proper selection. So this is a subject of Industrial Pharmacy 1 5th semester subject. Before starting this topic or this lecture, we should know about basic object or learning objects. In learning object, first is brief introduction about excipient used in liquid dosage form. Means first to know about what is excipient. Excipient is majorly ingredient that you use in your formulation rather than API or rather than the drug. All ingredients are known as excipients. So in this condition, you know, or in this lecture, you know about a brief introduction about excipients, the description of excipient, and which excipient used in liquid dosage form, and what is a liquid dosage form, and how you select this excipients in liquid dosage form. Next is excipient used for liquid dosage form with example and concentration. Different excipients with their example and concentration. How to select this excipient according to their concentration, and how much concentration is suitable. If you more less, and if you use less or more than that particular concentration, then how it affect your formulation and how you select this concentration according to requirements. So you know complete information regarding the all excipients with their example and concentration. And next is formulation of a liquid dosage form, how you formulate this liquid dosage form. So this is regarding the learning objects, and in this additive used in liquid dosage form. Additive and excipients both are same or synonym of, you can also say that additives is another name or synonym of the excipients. So additive used in liquid dosage form. In this additive are used in liquid dosage form for several reasons. Means why use this liquid dosage form and this excipient in liquid dosage form. So there's a many reasons or many purpose for this liquid dosage form to use this excipient. First is to promote from microbes, or sorry, to protect from the microbes. You know that liquid dosage form have a more sensitivity or more sensitive to atmosphere, environmental condition, or all the bacterial growth. So in this, you can protect your formulation with the help of excipients, because in liquid formulation, you always use preservative or antimicrobial or antibacterial excipients that may prevent or inhibit the growth of bacteria and microbes, because liquid dosage form are very sensitive to get infect or maybe take place of bacteria or certain microbes growth. So with the help of this excipient, you protect your formulation to stop the growth of microbes or to protect the microbes. And next is to make the stable formulation. According to stability, we can also say that the liquid dosage form have very sensitive compared to a solid dosage form or any other dosage form. So when you store in a improper condition or not formulate in a proper condition, in this condition, there may be chances that it can degrade or show stability problem or get expired before the expiration date. So in this condition, to make or maybe stable for a longer period of a time, or at least for desired expiry date time, you should prepare your formulation and assure that your formulation would be in a stable form and it do not degrade or don't change their stability during storage or after maybe coming in a market. So the formulation should be stored in a stable form with the help of this excipients or some excipient that helps to form the more stable form of liquid dosage form. Next is to improve the organoleptic property. Organoleptic property means, you know, that in this mainly we include color, odor, taste, means appearance. So there's some excipient that are not only used for improving stability or protect from microbes, but it also improve the appearance or their elegance. Suppose you are using some colors. So in this condition, your formulation should have sufficient that particular color, or maybe you can improve the taste or odor with the help of some excipients. In this excipients, you use some flavoring agents, coloring agents, to improve their odor, because some drugs have a big taste or bitter in taste, or smell is also not good. In this condition, you can improve their property or their elegance, and you make some sweet taste or some flavor taste with the help of some excipient. But these excipient, we should assure that FDC approved or given a certain specific pharmacopoeia standard. Don't use any of your choice of color and taste. So this acceptance is also used to improve the organoleptic property of your liquid dosage form, including color, odor, taste. Next is for masking the taste. Some drugs have a very bad taste and do not take easily that particular formulation or that particular drug. So in this condition, you also improve or mask the taste of your formulation or change the taste of your formulation with the help of some flavoring agents or some other excipients. So in case of improving taste, you can also use this excipients for liquid dosage form. Next is to enlarge the total volume of the preparation. Suppose your volume of particular formulation is not sufficient, or example is if you are preparing 100 ml syrup, and for 100 ml syrup, your drug is very less, and it's not an up to 100 ml, it may 50 ml or 80 ml. But when you prepare this in 50 or maybe up to 100 ml, then there may be chances that it have more drug concentration. So you can also increase the volume or enhance the volume of a liquid dosage form up to 100 ml or according to required quantity with the help of certain excipient, because excipient don't have the pharmacological effect, but you can use to build up a specific amount or specific volume of your formulation. Similarly, in tablets, you can also use some excipients for making specific or required volume of your tablet if it's difficult to punch or maybe showing us insufficient weight during the punch. So similarly, in liquid dosage form, you can also use or enhance the total volume of your formulation according to requirements with the help of some excipients. Next is for dose uniformity. In case of prepare your test in a uniform dose or required specific dose. So in this condition, you can also prepare your formulation in according to uniformity or according to dose uniformity of your formulation. This is regarding the additive used in liquid dosage form. Out of this, there's an example of additives. Different additives or excipient used in a formulation. There may be a single additive or maybe in a combination. This selection of all additive and excipients depending on type of formulation or according to requirements. Suppose you are preparing a syrup, and in this condition, using of coloring and some another excipient depend on up to you how much elegance or how much color is provided to a syrup, or maybe without the color you can also prepare this syrup. So there may be example of this additives that you use for your formulation. First is antimicrobial agents. Antimicrobial agents are the excipient that protect your formulation, helps to reduce the microbial growth or inhibit the microbial growth or any bacterial growth, and make your formulation stable and in a good condition. So this is almost all type of liquid formulation contain, and this has to majorly provide or inhibit the effect of bacteria or microbes. Next is buffering agents. In buffering agent, it is not necessary for all type of the liquid formulation, but it is depend on the type of formulation or limited to the some formulation. Because if you formulate your liquid dosage form in a specific pH or desired pH, affect not affect, neither show effect in particular site, and according to site that particular amount of pH is required, and your formulation don't have that pH. In this condition, you adjust pH of your formulation with the help of some buffering agent or with the help of some excipients. This is known as buffering agent. So majorly this buffering agent is used if your formulation is not in required condition or required pH condition. So when you use this buffering agent, your formulation will change the pH and form in a required pH according to particular site. So this is not necessary that this buffering agent present in all formulation, but this buffering agent depend on your choice or up to you how much pH is required, and it's not if this formulation does not have sufficient pH according to requirement, that in this condition you can also use this buffering agents. Next is flavoring agents. Flavoring agents is also not necessary that all formulation have, but there may be chances that most of the formulation have this flavoring agent, because almost all drugs have their bad taste or bad odor, and it is difficult to take liquid dosage form with this type of taste, because it directly touches to your taste bud or sensation bud, and there are chances that some person show difficulty or don't easily take that particular formulation due to the bad flavor or bad odor. In this condition, use this flavoring agent or use this flavoring agent with which are given in your specific book or a specific pharmacopoeia, and with the help of this flavoring agents, you can improve the taste of your formulation or liquid dosage form, or you make your formulation in a more flavored form. And next is coloring agent. Similarly, coloring agents is not present in all liquid dosage form. This is also depend on your choice. If you require that your formulation should have a specific color and you provide a specific color to your formulation or improve the elegance or attractiveness. So in this condition, you can also use this coloring agents. There's a different color that is approved by FDNC and some specific standard book. You can use any one of this color according to the specified concentration, not in your choice. So with the help of this coloring agent, to change your formulation color or make a specific color formulation with the help of this coloring agent. Next is suspending agent. Suspending agent are the particle or excipient that are suspended in your formulation. So this suspending agent is not present in all liquid formulation, but it is very important in some formulation or playing important role in some formulation like suspension. When you prepare suspension in this condition, the suspending agents are very important, and without the suspending agent, your suspension formulation is not formed. So with the help of the suspending agent, you formulate a very good quality of suspension, because suspension already contains some particles or some molecules that are suspended in a solution. With the help of this, a suspension is formed. So this is, in case of syrup, it is not necessarily suspending agent present or not, but in case or we are say that this suspending agent is very important, play important role in suspension. Without the suspending agents, suspension is not formed. And there's a different examples or different excipients are available for the suspending agents. Next is emulsifying agents. Emulsifying agent is also not present in all liquid dosage form, but according to the suspending agent, this also depend on type of the liquid dosage formulation. Like if you are preparing emulsion, in this condition, this emulsifying agent is very important. That we can say that if suspending agent play important role in suspension, then emulsifying agent is playing important role in emulsion. Because without this emulsifying agent, your emulsion don't form, and you know that emulsions are majorly phase formulation, that is oil, water, water and oil, or you contain both oil and water phase. So you use this emulsifying agent as emulsifier in emulsion formulation. Next is stabilizing agents. Almost all liquid formulation contain this stabilizing agent, except those formulations who don't have any stability problem or they are stable without the stabilizing agent. So it acts as a you can say preservative or stability enhancer, or make a proper stability of the formulation. You maintain the stability of the formulation up to the expiry date with the help of the stabilizing agents. Next is diluent. Diluent is mainly used for make the volume of the formulation according to requirement. Suppose your formulation don't have a sufficient volume or don't have a sufficient or enough strength according to a requirement. Suppose we are preparing 100 ml syrup and your drug is only 10 ml is required, or maybe 5 ml or 2 ml is required in 100 ml syrup. But you add all amount or all concentration of your drug, but syrup concentration or total volume of syrup is not up to 100 ml or not 100 ml. So in this condition, you enhance the volume or make the syrup up to 100 ml with the help of diluent. Diluent don't show any therapeutic effect or any toxic effect, but this is mainly used to maintain the volume or make the formulation a required amount with the help of this diluent. And this diluent you select according to type of your drug or according to requirement. It should be stable with your formulation or with your API and don't show any compatibility problem or any interaction with your API and drug. And in this condition, you can also say that the diluent should be non-toxic or non-irritant and don't show any adverse effect when you are taking your formulation. Next is other excipient. Out of this all excipient, there are some other excipient that are used in your formulation according to the requirement, according to type of the formulation. And then so many other excipient other than this. So before completing this example, we discuss this example in one by one. In this type of water is also an excipient, or you can say that a major excipient of your formulation, because without water the formulation won't form, or it's not possible that without this water you form your liquid dosage form. So in liquid dosage form, this water is very important, play important role in your formulation, and your water should be not a tap water, but it's a proper sterile water and free from microbes and properly sterilized, and don't affect or don't interact with your formulation. And in this types of water, first is potable water. In potable water, drinking water should be palatable, safe for drinking, and its chemical composition may include mineral impurities which could react with a drug. An example is presence of calcium carbonate in hard water. Means you can also use this potable water, but you make sure that the impurity or some mineral impurity don't affect your formulation, don't affect your drug, or don't interact with your drug. And it should be in a proper pure form. And if you are using, then there may be chances that the composition or mineral impurity react with your drug. Means in potable water, there is some mineral impurity or some impure minerals are present. So these impure minerals, there may be chances that react with your drug or with your API and form the reaction or get interact with your drug. An example is the presence of calcium carbonate in hard water. In this water, there could be calcium carbonate are present, or higher amount of calcium carbonate are present. And when you use this water, there may be chances that this calcium carbonate get react with your drug and form some problem or show some unstable formulation. So before using this potable water, you should assure that this type of water don't affect your formulation or don't interact with your drug or with your API. It should form stable dosage form or stable formulation. In this type of water, next is purified water. In purified water, often from the potable water by distillation, ion exchange treatment, and reverse osmosis and other. Hence, this purified water is just a modified form or purified form of potable water. You treat your potable water with some methods or with the help of some techniques, and purify this water and convert it into more pure form. And there are some techniques like distillation, ion exchange treatment, and reverse osmosis, or any other technique used for this purified water. Means you change potable water into purified water with the help of distillation, and maybe ion exchange treatment, some ion exchange technique used, or some reverse osmosis or our technique used for this purified water or convert potable water to purified water. Next is distilled water is purified water prepared by distillation. Means this distilled water is same as purified water, or you can say that purified water is a distilled water, because you are preparing this water with the help of distillation. So you can say that this distilled water is a purified water. Next is compared with ordinary drinking water. When you compare this purified water with drinking water, in this purified water more free of solid impurity. In this, there may be chances of no impurity or very less impurity present in your water, because some solid impurity are not present in purified water or removed by the process of distillation. And when evaporated to dryness, not greater than 0.001% of residue, that is 1 mg of a total solid per 100 ml sample evaporated. With the help of this distillation or other technique, this purified water don't contain any impurity or any solid particle. Even when you dry or take evaporation of this water, so in this, only small amount of residue or small impurity is only observed. This is very little amount, that is 0.001%. Example is that is very less in this purified water, that is 1 mg of solid particle or solid impurity is observed in 100 ml sample evaporated. Means in 100 ml only 1 mg impurity is present or solid particle present in purified water. And the next is purified water is intended for use in preparation of aqueous, distilled formulation, or except those intended for parenteral administration and injection. Means this purified water you also use for some liquid formulation or parenteral formulation, because it don't have any impurity or any minerals present in the formulation, and it is a pure form, and you can inject this purified water, and you can also use this purified water for parenteral preparation or for injections. Next is water for preparation. Water for preparation is potable or freshly boiled and cooled water used in oral or external liquid dosage form, not intended to be sterile. Means water for injection is also a pure form but don't have a sufficient purity like purified water, but it's a normal potable water. And you can say that this water for engine preparation is a improved form or pure form of, or changing form of potable water. You just heat or boil potable fresh water, and after boiling you cool your water and use this water for your formulation. And mainly this water for preparation is used for external liquid dosage form or oral dosage form, and intended to be sterile. Means after using this water, sterilization is required for your formulation. Next is water for injection. This is pyrogen-free distilled water, sterile immediately after collection and used for parenteral preparation. This is a more pure form, or you can say that more free from all minerals, particles, or available in a high degree or high pure form water for injection, because it is mainly used for the injection or parenteral formulation, and it don't contain any impurity or any pyrogen. It is a free from pyrogen and distilled form or distilled water or sterilized water. And after collection, it is used as parenteral preparation immediately. And next is chloroform water. Chloroform water is also a type of water and used as antimicrobial preservative, and also add a sweetener to preparation. And you can say that this chloroform water is also a type of water for formulation or preparation, but use of this chloroform water is another purpose, that is preservative or for sweetening. Means when you enhance the taste or change the formulation to sweet taste, and if you require some preservative, then in this case you use this chloroform water, because it provides sweet taste in your formulation and provide preservative effect in formulation. And it is available in different form like concentrated chloroform water, DPC, British Pharmacopoeia, and this concentration is 10% volume by volume. But this water is required very less amount, because it is mainly used as a preservative or maybe sweetening agent. So this is a less concentration used. And when we can say that concentration for chloroform water used, the concentration is only 10% of volume by volume. And if single strength chloroform water is used, in this concentration is 0.25% volume by volume. And double strength is just double of 2.5, means 0.5% volume by volume. Means we already discussed different types of water, and out of this water, chloroform water is very less amount is used, and the purpose and use of this water is also different. This is mainly used for as a preservative or as a sweetening, and there's a three types of this chloroform water. Concentrated chloroform water, it's used mainly large concentration, that is 10% volume by volume, and single and double strength. Single is 0.25% volume by volume, and double is 0.5 volume by volume. And this is all about water. Next is aromatic water, saturated solution of volatile oil in water, and used to provide a pleasant flavor or aroma, like peppermint water, USP. Name of this water itself say that it is used to enhance or improve the flavor or provide the aroma to your formulation. And this type of water is a saturated solution of volatile oil in water and used to provide pleasant flavor, means flavor to your formulation or aroma to your flavor. An example of this aromatic water is like peppermint water, USP. This is one of the example. Means this water is official in USP or given in USP. You can use this aromatic water. Next is used as a vehicle in oral solution. Some mild carbonative action, for example, diluted aromatic water are usually prepared from a concentration like ethanolic solution in dilution of 1 part 39 part with water. One example is peppermint water in USP. Second example is for oral solution is concentration ethylic solution, which is diluted in 1 part of 39 part of water. Means you use 1 part of this water concentration of flavor or aroma and 39 part of your water. And this is provide mainly carbonative or mild carbonative effect to your formulation. Other vehicle used in solution. Other than this water, other than this liquid formulation, liquid type excipient, some another excipient or other vehicle is also used in your liquid dosage form. And these are like for syrup. In other vehicle, first is syrup. In this, according to British Pharmacopoeia, according to people, syrup is a concentrated viscous sweetened solution of 66.7% sucrose in water, or in an aqueous solution. Means easily you can say that the syrup is a sweetening agent or viscous solution or containing large amount of sugar up to 66.7% sucrose present in your syrup, or up to 66.7% concentration of sweetening agent present in your syrup, and it is available in aqueous solution. And the consistency of the syrup is very viscous or highly viscous and sweetened in taste, and this promote dental decay and suitable for diabetic patients. One drawback or disadvantages of the syrup is that you don't use this syrup for those patients or those type of formulation have a diabetic problem, or those persons who have a diabetic don't take this type of formulation, as well as due to high concentration of the sugar or sweetening is present or sucrose present in the syrup. So it may be chances that it promote or helps to show tooth decay or dental cavity. And sweetening agents like mannitol, sorbitol, xylitol replace the sucrose to give a sugar-free solvent. So majorly use of sweetening agent is sucrose, that is 66.7%, but this sucrose have a very high concentration of sugar, and those persons who have diabetic don't take this type of formulation, as well as tooth decay. And due to this problem, or maybe observe this problem, you change this sweetening agent with some another alternatives like mannitol, sorbitol, and xylitol replace to this sucrose. And when you use this type of sweetening agent, it forms sugar-free solvent and free from some sweetening or maybe overcome some problems. Next solution is alcohol. Alcohol is also limited for using this type of solution in your formulation, similar to a syrup, because it is also contain very less amount of formulation. This alcohol, according to USP or United States of Pharmacopoeia, ethyl alcohol, ethanol, is majorly used, and concentration is 94.9. And 96% is up to use. Means, according to syrup or similar to syrup, this alcohol concentration is also very high in your formulation, and you use very large amount of this alcohol in your formulation. So, previous slide you see that syrup contain 66.6% sweetening agent. And in alcohol, similarly, alcohol amount is very high. Mainly ethanol is present in this alcohol, that is 94.9, approximately 95% to 96%. So it is very high or high concentration of alcohol present in a formulation. And this not used for internal uses, but used for external preparation. Means this type of solution is very rarely or not used in oral formulation due to the high concentration of alcohol. But this type of solution mainly used for external preparation or external formulation, and also used to in low liquid dosage form as an antibacterial preservative alone or with parabens, benzoates, or with alcohol have an antimicrobial or has a preservative property. So this alcohol you can also use as a preservative in a small concentration or very small volume. And you can also say that this alcohol you used with a combination of some preservatives like paraben, benzoate, and sorbate. These are the preservatives. Use this with alcohol. And alcohol has an undesirable pharmacological potential toxic effect. Means this ethanol and alcohol don't show any pharmacological effect, and but it show more toxic effect because this alcohol is not API or not your active pharmaceutical drug. So it don't show any therapeutic effect. Instead of this therapeutic effect, it shows some toxic effect or potential to show toxic effect because alcohol is not good for your health, and it is present very high concentration, that is up to 95 to 96%. So it may be show some potential or toxic effect or some adverse effect in your body due to high amount of concentration. In this 70% ethyl alcohol employed as a lubrication externally and soothing rough germicide for instrument and skin cleanser prior to injection. Means rather than internal formulation or preparing an internal formulation, this alcohol is used for some external formulation or some other purpose. This alcohol solution is very rarely used in an internal use formulation, but it is used mainly for external formulation or some formulation who are prepared for lubrication effect. It provides lubrication effect, as well as it also provides soothing effect when you apply externally, and the germicide for instrument if you are sterilize some instrument or just say that they provide some lubrication and not lubrication, germicide effect, or remove the bacteria or microbes from that particular instrument before starting the formulation. So this alcohol is also used to act as a germicide for your instrument or cleansing purpose, or skin cleanser. It also used prior to injection when you sterilize a particular instrument or surface, or you can say also use for sterilizing and cleansing your skin before giving injection to that particular site. And 70% ethyl alcohol also used as a vehicle for topical preparation. Topical preparation is also an external formulation. So mainly topical preparation or this topical external formulation alcohol is largely used. Up to 70% ethyl alcohol used in this topical preparation. Next is glycerin according to USP. Glycerin is also known as glycerol. Glycerin is a clear viscous liquid with sweet taste and miscible with both water and alcohol, used as a alone vehicle in some external preparation. Added as a stabilizer and sweetener in internal preparation, acts as a preservative in concentration about 20% weight by volume by volume. Sorry. And you can say that glycerin is have a multi-purpose use or multifunctional use. And this glycerin is also known as glycerol. And when we use this glycerin used in both internal and external formulation, and it's a viscous solution or clear viscous solution. And this glycerin is sweet and taste and easily miscible with water as well as alcohol. Means this is a very simple type of excipient. It is clear solution in high viscosity, and it easily dissolve in water as well as alcohol, and it's used in both external and internal formulation. When you are using an external formulation, then it is used as alone as a vehicle. And when you are adding as an internal formulation or those preparation you take internally, in this you act as you use this glycerin or glycerol as a stabilizer or sweetening, because due to the sweet taste, it is used as a sweetening agent, and instead of the sweetening agent, it is also the stabilizer because it forms stable formulation or internally used stable formulation. So This is also known as preservative, and concentration of this glycerin as a preservative is 20% volume by volume. Next is propylene glycol. Propylene glycol is also same as glycerin. It is a less viscous liquid and better solvent than glycerol. Means it is also similar to, you can say that majorly similar to glycerin or glycerol, and just little bit changes takes place in propylene glycol, and it is a less viscous liquid. Here glycerin and glycerol is more viscous, and this propylene glycol is less viscous liquid and bitter solvent. This glycerin is sweet in taste, but this is not sweet in taste, but is bitter in taste than glycerol, and used to extract solution miscible with water and alcohol, useful solvent with wide range of application frequently, subsequently for glycerin in modern pharmaceutical formulation. Means this propylene glycol and glycerin almost all have same property. Glycerin have more viscous and propylene glycol is a less viscous, and it is also same as glycerin. And glycerin is a sweet in taste, but it is not sweet in taste. It is a bitter in taste, or you can also use as a liquid formulation, or both glycerin and propylene glycol have the same property. It is easily miscible with water as well as alcohol. So it is widely used and largely used excipient in your liquid dosage formulation. Next is oils. Oils in this use bland oils. In this example is coconut oil used in the formulation of polygaseous injections. It's an example of injection formulation. Other than this coconut oil, you can also use any other oil, but you should assure that your formulation is compatible with that particular oil, or it don't show any toxic as well as therapeutic effect. So you use this oil in your liquid dosage formulation. For example of one oil is like coconut oil. Other solvent used in solution is like oils. In this, a number of fixed oils such as corn oil, peanut oil, cottonseed oil, sesame oil are used in solvent for fat soluble component. Example is calciferol oral solution. Previous slide we check that oil in this coconut oil is used, and in this rather than coconut oil, different oil is also used. This mainly used fixed oil. In fixed oil example is like corn oil, peanut oil, cottonseed oil, sesame oil will be used as a oil in liquid dosage formulation as a excipient or as a solvent. And for fat soluble compound, we use mainly calciferol oral solution. And these solvent or these oil have a less saturated lowering melting point temperature and keep the vegetarian happy, because these oils are in a obtained from some vegetables or some plants. So those persons who are vegetarian in nature also take this type of formulation. And example is like peanut oil, sesame oil, corn oil, and cornseed oil. Become a rancid when oxidized. One disadvantage is or one drawback that it is easily rancid or easily oxidized. And mineral oil mainly used as ester of fatty acids, give less viscous liquid, and esters easier to inject. Means we use this mineral oil also for liquid formulation, and this is mainly used for injection. And mineral oil mainly used for esters of fatty acid and less viscous liquid, because it have an easy to inject or easily administered property. So in another oil, use fixed oil, mineral oil, or some another oil. Next is preservatives of solution. These are the preservatives that use liquid dosage form. And this first is chloroform, widely used in oral solution, although its disadvantages in the high volatility and carcinogenicity. So that used in UK is limited to the chloroform of 0.5% weight by weight or weight by volume. Used a strength of 2.5% weight volume by weight as a chloroform water. This chloroform is act as a preservative, but instead of preservative, it shows some more disadvantages or toxic disadvantages, like it have a high volatility or there's a carcinogenic in nature. So due to this property in UK, it is banned, and it is used only in a small amount, that is 0.25%. Or if you are preparing chloroform water, then you use up to 0.5%. And 0.25 is a single strength and 0.5 is double strength. And next is benzoic acid and salt at a strength of 0.185 volume, also suitable for oral administration. Syrup containing high concentration of sucrose greater than 65% weight by weight will be protect oral liquid dosage from clots of the most microorganism owing osmotic effect preservative for external solution chlorobutanol, that is concentration is 0.5% volume by weight by volume. So this benzoic acid is present in both liquid internal as well as external formulation. In internal, it is mainly used in syrup, and concentration is very less. And when you use syrup, if you use syrup or sucrose up to 65% or more than 65%, then given chances that it easily takes place growth of microorganisms and osmotic effect. So with the help of this benzoic acid, this type of problem can overcome. These are the antimicrobial preservative summary according to the pH range, and double as antioxidant. In this benzoic acid less than 0.1%, range is 2.5 to 4% pH. Sorbic acid is less than 0.1%, pH range is 3 to 6.5 pH. Propionic acid is 2.5 to 5 pH range, and acetic acid is 3 to 5 pH range. Paraben is 3 to 9 pH. Sulfites is 2.5 to 5 pH. Nitrates is 4 to 5.5 pH. The structure of paraben and ester can easily hydrolyze, and the next in this preservative we can also use as quaternary ammonium salt, and concentration is less than 0.02%, and nitrites to admit it is active against C. botanium bacteria, and sulfites in this wine mainly allergen flavor problems, and in quaternary ammonium it's a highly water soluble, acts as a surfactant, non-active against gram-negative bacteria. Next is flavoring agents. Flavor added to the solution make medicine more acceptable to take, especially if drug has unpleasant taste. Selection of flavor to make particular taste type example. Fruit flavor helps to discuss an acid taste. The age of patient should take into account when selecting a flavor. Children tend to enjoy fruit or sweet flavor. Means this flavoring agent is not necessarily all formulation are contained. This selection of flavors depend on your type of formulation according to your choice. If you are making more good flavor formulation, or if you are preparing a formulation for old age or children, in this case you use this flavoring agent, and according to age you select this flavoring agent. If you are taking that age of patient, and if you are preparing formulation for children, then you mainly add fruit or sweet flavor taste, because they are easily take the sweet and flavor taste or fruit taste. And flavor associated particularly use of peppermint associated with antacid preparation, and flavor and color should be completely complement each other. Medicine tend to natural flavor added as a juice like raspberry extract, like licorice, spirits like lemon and orange, and syrup is blackcurrant, tinctures is like ginger, and aromatic water is anise and cinnamon. So these are the flavor that you use in a formulation according to requirement. If you are preparing extract base or natural flavor, or spritz base or tincture or some syrup, so use any of this type of flavor in your formulation. These flavoring agents are synthetic flavor or naturally occurring material, or maybe volatile oil or maybe vanillin. And because of syrup or aqueous preparation, these flavor ends may be water soluble. Next is sweetening agent. In this you use glucose and sucrose. This is sucrose enhance the viscosity of liquid, also pleasant texture in your mouth. Means if the formulation or some dosage form is not in good taste, in this condition use the sucrose. It provides pleasant taste or improve the texture of your mouth, providing good taste. And sugar-free solution includes sweetening agents such as sorbitol, mannitol, xylitol, saccharin, aspartame, and example is sucrose, fructose, and glucose. Next is stabilizer or antioxidant. Antioxidant used for including liable to degradation by oxidation. This is mainly used for formulation can degrade or show oxidation reaction. To protect this oxidation reaction or degradation, use this stabilizer or antioxidant. And mainly example of this antioxidant is oil, and antioxidant added to oral preparation like ascorbic acid, citric acid, sodium metabisulfate, and sodium sulfate. These are odorless, tasteless, and non-toxic. Next is coloring agent are added to pharmaceutical preparation and enhance the appearance of the preparation, increase the acceptability of the patient's color, also used to consist appearance and color finish flavor of the preparation, and give distinctive appearance to a medicine. Means this coloring agent is also limited in formulation. This use is also depend on your choice. If you use this coloring agent, then it may be enhanced appearance or acceptability of patient compliance or give good appearance, consistent appearance. And this coloring agent should match with your flavor. If you are adding required flavor, and then you add some similar color in your formulation. Next is coloring agent should be free from any therapeutic activity, non-toxic themselves. Types of coloring agent is natural coloring derived from animal or plant. In this, carotenoids may be used. Next is chlorophyll. In this, caramel, cochineal, saffron, and red beetroot extract used. Next is mineral pigment, mainly iron oxide, not used in solution due to their low water solubility. Next is synthetic organic dyes such as azocompound used in this coloring agent. This is all about excipient used in a liquid formulation or all type of liquid formulation with example. So after completing this topic, you should know about this learning outcome, brief introduction of excipients used in liquid dosage form, all excipient that used in liquid dosage form with example, excipient used for liquid dosage form in their concentration and example, formulation of a liquid dosage form. This is a learning outcome. After learning outcome, these are the reference for this topic. And this first is pharmaceutical pre-formulation, the physicochemical property of a drug. Substance by James Alice Harvard's Limited, publisher, This is page number 2026. Ansel pharmaceutical dosage form and drug delivery system, 8th edition by Lord B. Ellen Nicholas, 4th page. Harvard C. Ansel published by BI Publication Privately Limited. Page number is 187, 993, 42, 43, 126, 133. Pharmaceutical pre-formulation by J.T. Curtis and published by Technology Publishing Group, page number is 126 to 112 to 112. Next is textbook of physical pharmaceutics by CBS Subramanian, published by Vallabh Prakash, page number 182 to 226. And next reference is the theory and practice of industrial pharmacy by Leon Lachman, Raffles L. Lieberman, Joseph L. King, 3rd edition, published by Bagwell Publishing House, page number 171 to 184. And the next reference is Modern Physical Pharmacy, Pharmaceutical Science, 5th edition by Patrick J. Senko, published by Lippert Wilkins, page number 547 to 550. Next reference is Pharmaceutical Dosage Form, tablet volume 1, edited by Havas, Lieberman, Leon, and Lachman, published by Marshall Decker, page number 1 to 10. This is all other reference for this topic. Next is question part. In this first question, aspartate is artificial sugar or sweetener as a main disadvantages as a carcinogenic. B is metallic aftertaste. B is a bitter aftertaste. D is hygroscopic in nature. And second question, of the following oral liquid formulation which would have considered as a or gel formulation. In this, A is syrup, B is elixir, C is mouthwash, and D is linctus. Next is which of the following drug is the highest viability? In this, A option is coated tablet, B is solution, C is tablet, and D is emulsion. And the fourth question, what is the role of xanthan gum within the some liquid formulation? And this, A option is regulate pH, B is control viscosity, C is enhanced solubility, and D is enhanced viscosity. Next, fifth question is Brownian movement of particle in the suspension cause. A is assist segmentation, B promote segmentation, C is prevent segmentation, and D increase segmentation rate. Sixth question is main disadvantages of tragapant as a binder is hardened on storage, B is has a bitter increase, C is incompatible with many drugs, D is sweet in taste. Next, seventh question is the starch mucilage is used in how much percentage concentration? A is 5 to 10, B is 70, C is 20, and D is 25. In the eighth question, how are the extruded material cooled water? A, B is contact with chilled surface, C is air, and D is oil. Next is ninth question. In this, acrylate polymer is also known as A is ethyl cellulose, A is ultrashit, C is hydroxycellulose, and D is carbopol. Next, last 10th question is why emulsion dosage form for lipophilic drug to bitter? A is easy manufacturing. There is a higher stability of the drug in the emulsion form. C is presented a large surface area of oil to GIT for the absorption of the drug. And D is a fast clearance of the plasma. So this is all about the questions of this topic for liquid dosage. After completing this topic, you easily answer this question. These are very simple questions. And you study this topic or excipients used in this formulation according to this question. So thank you so much for watching and listening this video. Thank you.